Who's your prepping nurse? That's me, Sally. I did the video canning the French onion soup. And unfortunately, when I was making the French onion soup, my camera quit twice on me. So that did not get videotaped. I will put the recipe in the description box for the canning of it. And in the future, I will make one to do the French onion soup itself. But I hope that you all are having a good day, that you've enjoyed. Please keep in mind, this is my first time filming a canning video. And even though I can speak in front of people, for some odd reason, I get on camera trying to film and I'm just get tongue-tied with it. So I hope you all have a good day. Keep moving forward. And above all, stay safe and have the best day possible that you can. Who's your prepping nurse? That's me, Sally. And today we are going to be canning the French onion soup that I made yesterday. Now, I know I didn't catch part of it on camera whenever I was putting in the beef broth. I did let it heat up. I did end up putting in some of the Better Than Bouillon beef, which is actually in the refrigerator now. But I also have this made from sauteed onions that I added to it. Man, that gave it such a different taste level. So with canning, my hands are washed, my jars are clean. I do put my jars in my canner, and whenever I'm heating up the water, the jars are heating up also. I've got my French onion soup heated up in this, and let me get rid of the lid here for it. And this is a Presto canner. I looked out, when I bought the house, I didn't realize that you couldn't put a regular canner on the stove, on a flat top stove like this. And I lucked out that the one I bought is actually made for a flat top stove also. So everything is all clean. I have got my funnel here and my scoop. So I'm going to give this a good stir. My soup is steaming hot, so we're going to have to be careful with the jars. And as long as you follow the FDA rules, you are going to be doing good with this. You take it up to a 1/2 inch of the lid. Let's get these filled up here. And I didn't mention it yesterday, but the onions I used are yellow onions. Yellow and white onions seem to hold up better to the cooking process. They keep their shape better. You can use the other types. And I have used red onions before because that is actually about what I cook with. And I love this little spatula. It has got that on it. And you know what? I got too much in this. Let me see if I can get some out. I was talking and not paying any attention. Let me grab a spoon here to, or you know what? Let's just try this. I've got a little measuring cup here. And we'll just take it down with that. And I was going to do quarts, but I decided to do pints because number one, this will make the jars last longer and won't be tempted to eat the whole jar, which I just love French onion soup. And that would probably be typical me to eat the whole quart in one setting. And this has got the measurements on it. There is my 1/2 inch right there. I'll also measure with my debubbler tool. Let's see here. There we go. That's a 1/2 inch. And this canner will take 8 jars. You process pints for, I'm going to double check, 60 minutes. And I believe quarts is 75 because this is considered to be a beef product because it does have beef in it. And it also has the vegetable. It's got the onion in it. Oop. There we go. And let's do one more jar here. Give this a good stir here. And you do add salt to this, or you can. I prefer it with salt. And I actually added a little bit more. There's very few things that I put salt in, but this is one of them. that I do. I've got my lids in hot water. I know they say you don't have to, but I am so old-fashioned that I do. And actually, I'll be honest with you, I think I've gotten a better seal rate. I also switched over to using Denali. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Lids, and I've had really actually excellent results with that. My debubbler, and then it's also got the measurements on it. This is a stainless steel one. It is, and you know what? I need to add some to that. Some to that one. Some to it. Let's see, yep, some to that one. Boy, I am like way off. And you know, another thing, I just happen to think that you can gauge by are the rings on the jars, because you've got your 1 inch, your 1/2 inch, and then a 1/4 inch. I had forgotten about that. I think I saw that on Sutton's Days. Let's just this up a little bit. And then even though it is a liquid, you still want to go around with your debubbler. Make sure that there are no air bubbles in it. And you want to, let me grab a paper towel. You can use a cloth or a paper towel for this, but you want to go around the ring. And because this is kind of a fat product, I go around twice just to make sure that there is no grease from the broth and from the butter on it. Because if there is, you may not, and chances are you won't get a good seal, or you won't get a seal that's going to last very long. And then let's put our lids on it. Get these done here. I got 4 more jars to do, and it's finger tight. A lot of people take these 2 fingers and your thumb. My thumb's a little iffy right now because of my cut, and you always want to inspect the inside rings, make sure that there is no rust. If you get an insert that buckles, it could be because there is rust or the lid has been over tightened. Because you don't want it down tight, because you do want any air that would happen to be in this. And you know what? I don't think I did this one with this. Yeah, I did too. I'm overthinking on this. Let's get it into the hot water. And for mine, because it's got the bigger burners and the smaller burners on it, I'll scoot this back out this way just a little bit, and then I will turn on the front burner also. So let me get these jars out. We will get them filled. And you know what? I've got 7 jars. I was thinking that I had 8 jars for in here. We'll see. I may just stick one in there, let it heat up, and then fill it. I know some people will put them in their oven and do it, but I'm heating up the water, so why not take advantage of that also. So let's just get these filled. Let me stir this here. Get this up to the 1/4 or the 1/2 mark here. Maybe a little bit more in there. There we go. This stirred up so I can get some of those good onions in it. It's the whole purpose of this thing. And I'm actually hoping that I have left over. I've got enough, I think, to run another canner in here. If I don't, and I only have like room for 1 jar, I will actually can some of my filtered water because it is considered to be sterile at that point, and you can use it for wound cleaning, which I have done before. Whoops, I'm making a mess, aren't I? Oh, I guess so. I really did get that one over full, didn't I? Okay, live TV. Or live video, you all can see what really happens in real life whenever you're talking and you're not paying attention. I will wipe off that whole jar. Okay. There we go. But I'm hoping I have enough left over for lunch today. And I'm going to be making, later on, I'm going to try and film it too. I'm making a honey bacon chicken breast. And that is perfect, actually. Okay, so I am going to debubble. And you always want to follow the USDA guidelines on this. I'm pretty much a stickler. I mean, I don't can it. I make ghee. But I don't can any dairy products because that's just me. I'm just not comfortable with doing that. And you know what? I'm going to take just a little bit out of this one here. Because if you overfill it, it can be just as bad. There we go. Let me do this again here. I did taste this earlier. Whenever I was heating it up, and oh my gosh, it just tasted so good. More vinegar. And another thing that I do with my white vinegar that I use whenever I wipe this off, what's left in the dish gets put into the canner. It will help keep, it's warm, it will help keep the build up not only off the jars, but it keeps your canner clean too and nice and shiny. I mean, my canner is from 2002 and I think it looks pretty good. Yeah. Do this here a minute, just where I was sloppy on it. Nope, we're gonna stick with some, I'm gonna go grab another one. We will get 8 in here with no problem. And I think I'm gonna run it under warm water rather than take the time to put it back into that. My water, my tap is still pretty warm. I was just running hot water. And by doing this, whenever you can, you're putting it into a hot canner, a canner with warm water in it, you want to make sure your jars and the content of the jars is hot also, because it can cause it to crack from the rapid temperature change. That's pretty warm. So let's do this here. And I'm not talking this time. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. A little bit more, just a touch more. Yep, that's it, perfect. Okay, I'm going to turn off my soup for right now. I am going to debubble. And I'm going to wipe this off. And get my inserts. I did heat up 8 of them. Put my lid on, put it in here. Let's get the lid on it. And if you're new to canning, or not really sure about using a pressure canner to cook or cannon, they come with these safety valves. This is where I sprayed it, trying to get my jar hot. You want to make sure that it is loose, that it's in good condition. You want to look at it from both sides and inspect it. You want to make sure that your valve is working, that it doesn't stick, and you want to look through this little hole. You should be able to see daylight through that, because there, especially if you're canning meat, for some reason there can get a buildup in it. And one of the things that I do is I take a pipe cleaner and I go through this every time I clean it, just to make sure. So whenever I actually wash this, whenever I get through canning, I will put this through. And I've already cleaned it, so it's going to come out clean, but you'd be amazed at what comes off of it. So let's get this on. It's got, and I always put the release thing toward the back, and the reason I do that is because if it is going to blow, the lid won't come off anymore. They have changed that on the, it's one of the safety features. And yeah, 20 years you would think that I could get this on easily, but nope, not gonna happen. Oh, and you want to inspect the ring. Always inspect your ring around it. All right, I almost had it on there, and then I take it off. Come on, it's because I'm filming, and because, okay, you gotta read. My arrow is over there. You gotta line up the arrows. Yeah. Let's hope the rest of my day goes better. So see the arrow there, and I'm going to use a screwdriver and tighten that up before. So here's the arrow, there's the arrow. You cannot put this on wrong, it won't let you. See, there you go. So then I'm going to turn this up just to get it kind of acclimated up to, sorry about my shoulder in the picture there, up to about 6 on my electric stove. Both of them are on. I'm scooting this out a little bit. That way the back doesn't get too hot, but there's more of a consistent heat than just trying to use one burner for this electric stove. I think gas stoves are a little bit different. I used to have a gas stove at another house, and I actually like gas better. I've been waiting on this one to go out just so I can get a gas one. I do have a gas hookup, and of course 20 years later I'm still waiting for it to go out, although now is not the time. And yes, this is the stove that I fixed with a wild guess on a screw to hook the oven door together. So anyway, I will bring you back whenever it starts getting up to pressure, just to show you what it's like, and we'll be back. Okay, so my what they call this thing is up. It is getting a seal. You can't really see it with the way the lighting is, but there is hot steam coming out. I am going to set my timer for 10 minutes because you want it to vent for 10 minutes. It gets the air out, the excess pressure air out of it, and then I will put my weight on top of it, and I will bring you back whenever I do that. Okay, my timer went off. The 10 minutes are up, so I am going to put my weight on it like that. Then once it starts rocking, I will turn mine down to the temperature down to about 4.5 on my stove. That is low enough to keep it rocking, and I'll bring you back whenever we do that. You can see the hula dance that it's doing. That means that the pressure has been achieved in it, and I'm going to turn mine down because it does get very hot back here to about 4. If this really decreases down too much, then I'll go back and turn it back up some. But you want to have a consistent heat. You don't want to go back and forth with it. But if you're new to canning, you will learn it on your stove where to turn it to keep it at that consistent rate.